Hey everybody, this is Beelit, and this is a quick guide to introduce you to something referred to as the counter state. Now I came across this by accident while I was messing around in free battle, and I didn't know what I had done. So I did a little research on YouTube trying to figure out what in the world happened because I couldn't recreate it because I had absolutely no idea what I did. And I discovered a video that was talking about what I had experienced, and I'm going to put the channel name and the link of that video in the description so you can check it out as well. So after I watched that video and I learned how to actually purposefully do it, I experimented to try to figure out just when I could actually use this to see if it was useful or not. So in this video, I'm going to show you practical uses for the counter state as well as real gameplay footage of the counter state in action. So first, I'll explain how to enter the counter state and what it is. The counter state utilizes the team combination attack. That's where you hold down the melee button. So in order to get into the counter state, you would start by pressing and holding down the melee button. Then, once your character has flashed yellow, you would press and hold the guard button. At this point, you will be in the counter state. Any attack that lands on your guard will trigger the counter state. That includes physical attacks and projectiles. After the counter state has been triggered, you have to release the melee button in order to land the counter attack. A few interesting things to note about the counter state. Projectiles will not do chip damage, however, they will still damage your guard strength. Another thing to note is that multiple hitting attacks will trigger your counter and then hit you while you are in the vulnerable position of charging your combination attack. That means that things like Darui's Jutsu or Rasengan's will beat your counter state and land on you. The counter state is best used in ways that prevent your opponent from seeing the yellow flash of light indicating the combination attack. Since the counter state does not fully punish all actions such as chakra dashes and it does rely on a lot of reactions, you really have to rely on sneaking the counter state activation in without your opponent knowing. There are numerous ways to enter the counter state without your opponent seeing it. The first is probably the easiest and also one of the most effective ways to learn the counter state. You can enter the counter state while chakra dashing. All you have to do is perform a regular chakra dash by pressing your chakra load button and the jump button. Then, as you're doing that, hold down the melee button for a brief period of time, and then hold down guard. When you hold down guard, you will cancel your chakra dash and also put you into the counter state. There are a ton of ways to get into the counter state. A few examples are ninja moving, jutsus, ultimate jutsus, regular plain old projectiles, jumping, pretty much anything that has an animation longer than the charge requirement for the team combination attack can be used to set up the counter state, with the correct timing of course. Even items. However, in my opinion, the most practical and useful way to use the counter state is after substituting. This becomes especially useful when performed against awakened characters, as awakened characters can use chakra dash cancels to beat out the chakra dashes and guarding abilities of normal characters, essentially rendering non-awakened characters almost helpless after substituting. Keep in mind that you do not have to use a support character after the counterattack. You can instead use a chakra dash during the slowdown time to get in on your opponent and begin melee combos. You should also remember that you cannot get the slowdown time if you don't have a support character active, so you do need to pay attention to this. You don't have to use the support character, but you need to be able to use the support character in order to get the slowdown time. So now we'll look at some gameplay clips of the counter state being used in real matches. So in these matches I'm playing with a friend of mine, Carriage, who was nice enough to help me test out the counter state and look at some uses for it. So here you'll actually see that he uses the counter state to go into a jutsu. Now luckily I had called a support character in, and I did scout out the counter state being used here, even though he did actually use it perfectly. You'll see I ninja moved back as soon as I saw that the counter state was going through after my first melee input, because I was already aware of the possibility. It didn't catch me off guard because I knew that the counter state existed and we were working on it just not too long ago. So when he used it in that position, I was able to react to it quickly enough. However, there were things that he could have done off of that if he wanted to be a really big jerk. He could have actually gone into a team ultimate, and if I hadn't known about the counter state and I didn't know how to get around it and I hadn't called that support character in, I could have been in a world of hurt, especially at that range. If you don't react quick enough because you don't know what's going on, you can be in some serious trouble, and especially if I had continued melee not knowing about the counter state's existence. In this clip, you'll see the counter state being used after substituting. Now, I did kind of slop this one up, you can see the yellow flash here, but it kind of shows you how effective this counter state can be when using it after a sub. I was actually able to counter the awakening action, and I could have countered the chakra dash cancel as well. A lot of times people will just throw out the chakra dash cancel without even thinking, without even looking at what's happening. It's a reflex. So if you can actually go into the counter state effectively, even if you don't avoid the flash, if you can still get into the counter state after subbing, it can be a very, very effective tool. Well, that's it for this quick little guide on the counter state. I haven't actually explained everything about the counter state. There are a few different ways that I didn't explicitly mention in this video that you can use to get into the counter state, but I'm going to leave that to you. This is your time to go ahead and experiment a little bit and find out a little bit more about the counter state, and to get the timing for different things, because it does actually require a little bit of practice. So, if you have any questions about the counter state, feel free to leave them in the comments section, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, if you found this video useful in some way, I would greatly appreciate it if you would support the video. You could do that by leaving a like or sharing it with people that you think might enjoy it. Well, I will see you guys next time. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.